Again, the plan is to kill everyone so you can save the world. That's literally their plan. All right, now you're like, this is all very crazy, and maybe Karen Howe is just a crazy person, but there's another reporter, Ronan Farrell, and he's a very famous reporter who writes for The New Yorker. And he just published a profile of Sam Altman and OpenAI in which he says the same thing, okay? Oh my God, okay? It's a Stargate. These data centers, OpenAI, AI, it's designed to summon demons and aliens from the other dimensions. Okay, this is it, okay? This is not a science project, guys. It's an occult project. It's designed to bring aliens, demons, into this world. And then you're like, this makes no sense. Actually, it does make sense, okay? Let me tell you how this works. All right, so what's going on here? These people who are occultists, they understand the fundamental nature of reality. They understand that the source of reality is human consciousness. So if you're able to control human consciousness, you become God itself, okay? So, allegory of the cave, Plato. Okay, so we've talked about this before, but I'll remind you. You have 1 million people who are chained in a line. They are forced to look forward at a wall. And they can only look at the wall, they can't turn their heads because their necks are shackled. Behind them is a great fire. And behind them are the elite, okay? Who they are, we don't know. And what they like to do is they like to take puppets, okay? And then reflect these puppets onto the wall, projecting from the fire. So what everyone sees in front of them are shadows. Now, these shadows are nothing. They don't exist. They don't matter. But because we have an imagination, we have intuition, we are conscious, we see these shadows on the wall and we turn them into a reality, okay? We believe that this is reality itself. And so we start to give it names. We create language, we create religion, we create schools to teach children to believe in these shadows. All right? So the important idea here is that the true wealth in society is consciousness. Okay? The only thing that exists really in this world is consciousness, nothing else. Power is the capacity to direct people's consciousness to create reality itself. All right? Now, there are different ways in which you can create reality. The first way, which is very common today, is called money, right? Money is fake. It doesn't exist. Our imagination, our consciousness makes it real, okay? But guess what? AI can replace money. So AI, it is not alive. But if we can get people's attention to focus on AI and believe it's real, it becomes God. And how can you do that? Well, money, you make money into something valuable when it's nothing by making it everything and nothing, okay? By having money dominate the world. There's nowhere you can go without money, okay? You would literally starve to death if you had no money. So you make money so pervasive, so dominant, that people are forced to rely on money. Well, the same situation with AI, where if you make data centers so common, you make AI such a common thing, and people rely on it, it becomes God itself. And how do you do that? Well, you have AI in schools. You have kids using AI all the time. You create AI girlfriends for people who are lonely. You make AI everything. And also, you make people believe that AI are demons or aliens. Do you understand? What Operation Stargate is to alter reality itself. That is what Operation Stargate is. To bring aliens and demons into this world by making people focus on this and desiring it, wanting to happen, okay? And you can accomplish this if you just make yourself omnipresent, if you make it everywhere and everything, okay? Both nothing and everything. And this is the ultimate project of AI. Will it work? No! Okay? Let me explain why. Okay, so there are three major problems with this. The first problem is corruption. In theory, it could work, but you would need millions of people to make it happen. Okay, you need people to actually write the code, to build infrastructure. And nowadays, it's just much easier to steal the money, right? If I give you $1 trillion, do you really want to spend $1 trillion to build data centers, or do you want to steal it, okay? So corruption is a huge issue today. Second issue is the idea of inefficiency. And this is actually something that most people don't appreciate, where the more information you have to process, the more energy it takes, okay? And it's not a linear progress, it's an exponential. So you have 1 million people in your database and you want to find patterns among this 1 million people, well, that takes a lot of energy, okay? But if it's 1 billion people, then there's not enough energy in the universe to process all this, okay? So unfortunately, AI is extremely energy intensive, it is very inefficient, okay? Does that make sense? The last problem is fragility. So unfortunately, people for whatever reason believe that AI is independent of the world. AI is independent of humans, right? Their goal is to replace humans. No, guys. That's not how this works, okay? AI is designed on top of humans. So in other words, it is human slaves that make AI possible. Why? Because, for example, facial recognition technology, you need humans to actually input the faces manually, okay? Images, right? How do you get a computer to recognize a sheep or a dog? Humans have to label the images, okay? ChatGPT, why is ChatGPT so good at writing essays? Because they got humans to write the essays as models, okay? Do you understand? So AI is based entirely on human slavery, okay? And obedience. So without humans, AI doesn't work. The problem is that AI is far more expensive than humans, and it's actually hard in the long term to enslave humans and make humans obedient. Also, data centers, okay? Data centers. What's wrong with data centers? Well, they consume a lot of resources, water and electricity, okay? And financing. They cost a lot, they waste a lot of water, they waste a lot of electricity. And this is really important, it's really easy to sabotage, blow up a data center. We're already seeing this in the Middle East, where Iran is targeting data centers in the Middle East, and it's very easy to blow them up, okay? So these are three major issues, or three major constraints on artificial intelligence becoming God. The problem is the people in charge don't know this, or they refuse to believe this. And this is a real AI apocalypse, okay? The real apocalypse, where the people in charge are so convinced that AI will save the world that they will destroy it in order to make it possible, okay? That is a real apocalypse. And so this begins our journey into AI, and we're gonna continue this for the rest of the semester and show how AI will ultimately destroy the world. Do you guys understand what's going on? Okay, really important for you to understand that the people in charge of AI are crazy. These are occultists. They literally want to create God, but to create God, they first have to destroy the world.